All right. Hello, Albert's List. Men, women,
Hello.
boys, and girls.
And all between.
And all between. I'm here tonight, and I know that we're doing this live video, just kind of starting out here. After the Warriors loss, I'm a Warriors fan. I think Selena here is too. And it's Sunday night before your week begins. And I thought I'd make some allusions and some connections between what we just saw on TV and what's going on in the week ahead, and lessons to learn, and really how to and really how to I think evolve all your ideas into something that makes sense, and how to bounce back from tough things like this. Because I know, like, the Golden State Warriors are probably huddled around in their locker room right now, and they're wondering how they blew a 3-1 lead, how they somehow won 73 games this year, and they're just wondering, how the heck any of that just happened. And I like to think about this too.
Sorry, Albert.
Yeah.
I know it's a tough time.
I like to think about how this connects to
Clippers fans,
your
so
job
I know.
search, and I know, Selena here's a Clippers fan, so she knows what it's like with Blake Griffin and Chris Paul, injuring themselves in the playoffs this year. But I'd like to take a moment and really talk about how you can connect how the Warriors doing what they did tonight is a lot similar to what goes on in our job searches, right? We think we have the job in hand, and we think we have our career in hand, and then all of a sudden your career demons in the form of LeBron James comes in and just throws up that three-pointer, and all of a sudden that dream job you've always wanted is not there, right? And so actually, before we hop into this, let's introduce ourselves. So I'm Albert of Albert's List, and
Oh yeah, and I'm Selena. Selena. I'm the founder of socialamical.com.
Yep, and I know you've done a lot of talent consulting in the past too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, I think what really comes out of today's game is a lot of thinking about how a lot of this works in our own career, right? And for those of you who want to ask questions in the comments below about how to bounce back from career failure akin to the Warriors' failure tonight, please do so.
Yeah,
we'll be online.
I have actually a good example. So, one thing that you can tie it to is maybe you have a company that you've grown with, you've had several different positions with them, and then all of a sudden you get laid off, and it comes out of nowhere. Or if you're smart, you should always know. And so I kind of knew that it was time after I'd kind of had to let go of my entire team. So, when I bounced back after 5 days, I was, fortunate to have my own clients at the time. So that was actually my push off into, just full-time consulting and working with all the startup brands that I work with now, which, now I'm, going full-time pretty soon with one. So...
and for those of you in this group, you might have heard my story before. If you haven't, I've been laid off 3 times in the first 6 years of my career. Thankfully, these layoffs have gotten better and better over time, because the first time I got laid off, I pretty much threw my manager under the bus on company email. The second time I got laid off, it was from my own alma mater, Santa Clara University. I openly talk about it here, and I really wasn't doing my work. And then in January of 2016, I got laid off as well, because I was just a victim of budget cuts at my company.
Yep, budget cuts.
And I guess they're all shocked, but
oh, lots of sad faces.
Lots of sad faces. But you know what? Not to worry, right? Kind of like how if Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and all these guys know how to go about themselves and how to take what happened tonight and what happened over the last 3 games, regardless of what you think about how the referees are doing, regardless of whether you think Adam Silver has it out for LeBron bringing a championship to Cleveland, they're going to go home this summer and they're going to collect themselves and they're going to come back even harder, right? Every time I get let go from a job, I'm even more motivated. Every time an interview doesn't go well, I'm more motivated to go out and get the next one. Hey, Eric, how's it going? And so for those of you who are about to head into your week, right? We'll have our Motivation Monday tomorrow, and I got a great story lined up for you. But for those of you who are headed into your week, right? You may have had an interview last week or have been applying for so many jobs that it feels like you're chucking endless jump shots, towards the hoop, and none of them are going in. And I want to say that, regardless of whether any of these balls go in or out, it's important to keep your head up and keep your mindset up because.
Hi, Eric.
And because you know what? There's always tomorrow. There's always next year, right? I mean, Cubs fans have known this for the last 109 years or so. And even though they're doing really well this year, they still have the potential of losing. And, in life, you're going to win and you're going to lose. But as long as I think you have a good head on your shoulders and you know what's going on with you, anything that you want can be had and can make sense. And so, I know as we all mourn here tonight, I'm not in Northern California. I came back yesterday.
You're definitely mourning.
But, as I'm mourning this loss.
You ate it out on Mongolian.
I ate it out earlier on Mongolian Grill, as the Warriors chucked that last three-pointer up, I just ate this fork full of noodles, and I was just like, I'm not going to swear here on Facebook Live, but you get the idea. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. And so yeah, for this Sunday, as you plan out your week ahead, just be ready to be resilient and go from there. And so I also wanted to go into another area. So Selena here is what is your position at We Green Light?
Oh yeah, so
we want to talk about that a little bit too.
Yeah, so one of my clients is actually WeGreenLight.com, and so I am the director of growth.
Yeah, and so how do we connect your ability to come up with your next great idea or, something that we can tie within what you do over there to, overcoming obstacles such as what happened with the Warriors, this evening?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of ties in a lot into entrepreneurship. You're always going to fail. You're always going to have upsets. Your competition is going to beat you to the punch. Maybe you're first to market, or you thought you were going to be first to market, but then your competitor launches a week before you or a month before you. Then you're just kind of distraught. Wow, I did all this for nothing. But really, it comes back to resilience. And same thing when it comes to your ideas. Working on your ideas, having an idea, being confident enough to put it out there in the world, and then also being resilient enough to understand that your competition will come out for you. They might beat you in some areas, but also being confident in your own direction. So say for example, if you have a certain vision and what is this? Don't know about you guys.
He's worked up.
Aw, well, sorry, Mike. Mike is a little worked up. Was it? Lesson learned.
Whereas Michael says, don't know about you guys, but I think Albert looks like he's worked up after the game. I mean that in a good way. FYI, lesson learned. Warriors lose, but there's always opportunities down the road for them to win again. Same thing applies for you in your job search. That is exactly correct. And so, when it comes to your ideas, right? If Edison had decided to give up after his first 10 tries, someone else invents the light bulb. If Steve Jobs created that personal computer back in the 70s, and the first one didn't do as well as he hoped it would. Would we be looking at the changed state of the computing world? I mean,
yeah,
it's...
yeah. I mean, it comes down to every industry. There's always going to be a pioneer. There's always going to be a first product, but most of the time, historically, the first products don't really make it. Maybe the Cavaliers make it this year, but that's not guaranteed for next year. So I guess the thing would be, for all the Warriors fans out there, if you're upset, I'm sorry. My team sucked it up. Clippers fan. But unfortunately, we are all in the same boat as far as not liking Cavaliers. So we have that going.
And then Nishant, you're saying, how do I get rid of the frustration of not getting a job I like? You want to handle this one?
Yeah, so as far as the frustration of not getting the job you like, sometimes you literally have to take a job because in your scenario, maybe you need some money and you need to pay bills. Take that job. Yeah, it could be temporary. You need to use that as a stepping stone to getting that job that you want. as you have these experiences where you don't want this position, you don't like your career, you hate what you're doing, you hate your boss, use that as, some of your confidence, passion, putting that towards your job search of, hey, I'm using this as a stepping stone to get to where I need to be. This is also part of your journey. You need to be able to, learn from those experiences, and that's really what truly tells you what you want in the job search and in your career. I've had plenty of people where I've hired part-time and my team has hired part-time. Maybe they hate going door to door. It's really taught them the skills that they need to get to their dream job. And so while they're doing all these mundane tasks, yeah, it sucks. But, at the end of the day, a lot of those people left and found their dream jobs because they found out what they wanted and what they were interested in, so they can go after that after they've already paid their bills.
And, just to add on to that, right, you have a lot of athletes that play for a lot of years on teams that absolutely stink.
Yeah.
It's the same idea,
Got to put in work.
I don't know if all of you remember, but when Steph Curry came to the Warriors in 2011, the Warriors weren't exactly lighting it on fire with 50, 60 wins a year. I actually think maybe their first year they were losing. And it is in those times of struggle where you truly discover who you are.
Yeah.
And so when it comes down to it, it's your ability to be resilient. If you're having trouble finding that job, keep looking. If you're having trouble finding what you love, keep doing it. And
discover other things that you might be interested in. There's a lot of times it's maybe there's something that you're really good at that you haven't found yet. Mm-hmm. It's something that you haven't been open to. Maybe there's an experience that you've been thinking about, but you're just not comfortable enough to put yourself out there. And, now's the time to put yourself out there. Why not? I mean, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
And so, as you get your week started, I would pull out a piece of paper or if you journal and write down the 3 things you want to do this week. The 3 things that you want to move closer to.
And do something new this week.
Yeah, do something new. Get out of your comfort zone.
Learn a new skill.
As I keep on saying, as I've said in the past, you saw it on the video that I had last week, that there are so many networking events for so many of you here in the Bay Area that if you're not out at least once or twice this week, then you know what? You're not doing your job and you're not making your career happen. And so that'll be the subject of my Motivation Monday tomorrow that I want you to look forward to. So yeah, let's see what else we have here. Highly motivated talk from you two. Thanks a lot. Please have a conversation like this at a regular basis. Absolutely, and we'll do this. I'm gonna start doing these videos regularly because I really enjoy talking to all of you, and I feel like there's a message to be shared. So as the week starts, I want you guys to all go out. I want you to go get it. I want you to get what's yours. This is your time.
Yes.
So make it happen.
Time to shine.
And so Selena and I will be right here all week on Albert's List, watching all of you grow and all of you post. And so,
also shout out to any senior Scala engineers. I'm looking for you. Contact me.
Yeah. So this is Albert of Albert's List. I'm signing off, and
Selena, founder of socialomnical.com. I can't even say my own website. Yeah, someone warned me about that. And also director of growth for We Greenlight.
Yeah.
It was awesome talking to you guys. Hope to see you soon.
Yep. Have a great week ahead, and let us know how we can help you. Talk to you guys soon.
Awesome.